This is Seawolves. Storm or not.
Good Monday morning and welcome to week 5 of the spring semester and another episode of Seawolves Storm or Not. I am Deshaun Robinson. I'm a meteorology major who is learning the skills of an anchor. This is a production between the students of the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences and their beloved brothers and sisters from the School of Communication and Journalism. Storm or not, boy, did we have an amazing snow squall Saturday afternoon. It felt like someone was standing on set pouring buckets of snow on campus. For context, a snow squall is a moment of strong winds and heavy snow. It lasted for a total of 20 minutes, following some light flurries. Turning into a total downpour, these hit more like a snow thunderstorm. Snow squalls are pretty rare on the East Coast. Sadly, students at SUNY Potsdam are not in class today. They've taken a day off to mourn the death of one of their very own. Authorities found 21-year-old music major Elizabeth Howell unconscious on the side of a road near her campus just before 6 p.m. Friday night. Police rushed to her Canton Potsdam hospital where she was pronounced dead. The young woman was a talented musician who played the cello in local orchestras. Over the weekend, police have apprehended and charged 31-year-old Michael Snow with the second-degree murder in connection with Howell's death. Her father, Joe Howell, said she did nothing wrong except being a college student in the wrong place at the wrong time. From one SUNY to another, we stand in solidarity with our fellow students during this mourning period. This very sad, depressing too. Let's see if the weather can pick us up. We sent our meteorologist Skylar Day Harmon to the greenest corner of our campus where the intrusive bamboo flourishes right through the winter. What's the weather like, Skylar?
Thanks, Deshaun. I have to say today's weather couldn't be more different from Saturday's weather with the snow squall we experienced. Today's Monday, we're looking at a high of 50 degrees, currently at that high temperature, and a low of 32 degrees. It is a bit breezy, but we do have some really nice sunshine, so grab a jacket and you'll feel great. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Skylar. 40s may be touching 50s, and that's like springtime for New Yorkers. Although, I'd rather call this a roller coaster weather. Speaking of roller coasters, our sports team had some ups and downs this weekend. For more on that, let's go to our sports storm reporter, Jake Basile. Jake?
The weather certainly feels a lot more like spring today, but it wasn't the case over the weekend. But that didn't mean our spring sports weren't rolling. Men's baseball were lassoed into the loss column by the McNeese State Cowboys down in Louisiana. After freshman relief pitcher Colton Book threw 5 scoreless innings to win the second match of the weekend, McNeese quieted the bats of the Seawolves in Sunday's game. They took the series 2-1. Meanwhile, men's lacrosse defeated Robert Morris on Saturday. Behind 2 hat tricks from Mike McCannell and Dylan Palinetti, the Seawolves tallied 18 goals in their second win of the season. The women's team, unfortunately, suffered a heartbreaking loss, just 13-2 up in Syracuse. Our women's basketball team completed a clean sweep last weekend. 3 games, 3 wins. The biggest came against Hartford on Saturday, where the Seawolves put up a season-high 95 points on the Hawks. The men were not as successful. They dropped a game against UMBC and split a weekend home-and-home versus Hartford. However, the biggest news may have come off the court. Stony Brook's president, Maury McGinnis, requested that America East reinstate our student athletes for conference playoffs. As far as this reporter is concerned, the president can request, but the students, we need to demand. We'll keep an eye out on any developments there. In exciting news, the Stony Brook Seawolves hockey team has won the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League Championship. It's their 5th ESCHL title, but their first since 2016. They knocked off Drexel in the semifinal game. It was a 9-2 thrashing. Saturday's championship against Delaware was much closer. Forward Scott Lawson scored early in the third period to make it 3-1, proving to be the eventual game winner in a 4-2 victory. I was fortunate enough to be there and witness that moment of catharsis for the 6 seniors winning their first championship. The university and USG are fortunate to have such a successful organization here. Next up, Nationals in March. Moving from the college rink to the Olympic rink, Team Finland took home the gold medal in hockey for the first time in history. They defeated their big bad neighbor in Russia. But it was an Olympics filled with firsts. Norway accumulated the most gold medals, a feat they've never done before. And at the closing ceremony in Beijing just yesterday, they received 16 first-place medals, which is the record for any single country at the Winter Games. But the two-week event wasn't free from controversy. The failed drug test of 15-year-old Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva, the retracted sexual assault allegations against China's vice premier from tennis star Peng Shuai. And this certainly was felt in the ratings, as NBC experienced a 47% drop-off from the 2018 Olympics, which was no doubt influenced by the underperformance of American athletes, who placed fourth in the tournament, winning 25 medals. The lone bright spot was Nathaniel Chen winning the gold. And speaking of gold, back to you, Deshaun, who's shining like gold under the studio lights.
Thanks, Jake. My father would be really pleased with that claim, and my mother, after she watches this, would believe it. Now for the portion of our show that we need to pay attention to, we now turn to my colleague from SOMAS, Irina Ivanuk. Irina?
Thank you, Dishan. Well, I came fully prepared wearing my winter clothes. As it appears to be, Monday is the sunniest day of this week, so don't just waste it, enjoy it. The first half of this week will bring us warm but rainy days. As you can see on the map behind me, we have a warm front moving north and a cold front approaching from the west. That warm front will bring nice temperatures, a high of 52 and a low of 46 for Tuesday. It will start raining Tuesday afternoon and all the way through Wednesday. On Wednesday, we have a high of 58 and a low of 28 at night as that cold front breaks in. Mostly cloudy Thursday with a high of 38 and a low of 33. It will start snowing at Thursday night through Friday morning, then the snow will turn into rain. We should expect a sunny but cold weekend, and that's all I have for you for this week. Thank you. Back to you, Dishan.
Thanks, Irina. Even though it's not a meteorological term like the normal ride on a roller coaster we call this week's weather, I'm not sure if it's a downside or otherwise for this confusing weather, but it sure is botanical. Some plants like these daffodils are already emerging from winter soil. I just want to say to them, hey, wait, there may be more snow on the way, guys. Give it some time. Either Mother Nature is confused or she is bringing spring early. That's all we have for you today. Tune in next week for another episode of Seawolves, Storm or Not.